kids. Okay, I'm Mrs. Sharon Sarao, and today I'll be taking you all on a journey of exploration. Now, you all might be thinking why I'm using this word journey of exploration. Why I'm not saying geography? Have you ever thought what is the meaning of geography? Just think for 2 minutes. What's the meaning of that? Maybe you all don't know. Many of them know, many of them don't know. So I will tell you. Geography means exploration, learning new things. So that's why I said I'll take you on a journey of exploration. And I know that you all are very much interested in learning new things. So today we'll be going on a journey to learn something new. Okay, as we all are excited to learn new things, so today I'll be teaching you all something new. Fine. Now before I go to the chapter, let me ask you all, do you all know what is the meaning of factors of nature? Do you all know it? Okay, that also tell you. Have you all seen a potter making a pot? Have you all seen a bricksmith making the bricks? They use what things in that? You know? If you really observe them, you're actually using factors of nature. Like, first thing, they use the soil. Clay means part of earth. Okay? Then they use water, then they use fire to bake them, use sunlight, they keep them in sunlight to dry, right? So these are all factors of nature. And why they use these factors of nature while making these things? From olden days they are using that. Why? Because they believe that if you use these factors of nature in any of the things, they emit positive energy. You drink water of matka pot, you feel cool. Why? Because they are made out of these factors of nature. As I said, the earth, the sunlight, the water, even the climatic conditions. As I said, if the climate is very cold, they put it in the fire, you know, the bricks and all, they dry very fast in fire. The climatic conditions are very cold. Okay, so sorry. So these factors of nature also play a very important role in forming various places, various regions on earth. Now if you see on earth various regions, in some places the sunlight is more, in some places there's a lot of water, there's availability of water. So all these factors play an important role in developing these regions on our mother earth. Okay, but if you observe certain regions, like some regions are far off towards east, some regions are far off towards west, but they have similar characteristics. Means if there are a lot of sunlight here, there are a lot of sunlight there. There are a lot of availability of water here, there are a lot of availability of water there also. So when these regions having similar characteristics come together, they form a group. Okay, and this group is called a group of natural regions. Means their natural characteristics are similar and they lie in a straight line on the latitude of earth. Okay. So today our topic for our exploration geography is the natural regions. So I'll write it on the board. That's the very next chapter, 6th chapter, natural regions. So let's come to learn the various natural regions on our mother earth. Let's begin with the first natural region. Let's begin from the top, the tip of the earth, the poles. Okay. So the first natural region what we're going to learn about is the tundra region. Now let's come to the characteristics of tundra region. But we generally consider the northern part, that's the tundra region, because there we mostly find the characteristics of natural region of tundra region in tundra region itself. Okay, so if you go and see what happens there is, if you see the sun is not friendly with the tundra region. Okay, so it never comes overhead, it just moves in the horizontal plane. Okay, and that also for 6 months. 6 months they have day and 6 months they have night. So definitely when the sun doesn't come overhead, that particular place doesn't receive sufficient heat of the sun. As a result, the tundra region lies and snow for the entire year. There is complete snow for the entire year. Okay. So you can understand when there is no heat, complete snow, what unpleasant environment it will be for the human being. So definitely the population is very sparse. That means very few people live there. What about the animals? Okay, yes, you find a few animals here and there, like polar bears are there, seals are there, even under the water also you find fishes. Okay, now animals characteristics, because it's intense cold, it's below freezing point. Okay, so to protect the animals they have fur, soft fur on their body to protect them from this intense cold. And when we come to the plants, the vegetation you can say is very short lived. Short vegetal life you can find in the tundra region. After the tundra region, next below that we come to the taiga region. Okay, the taiga region you can say is just a younger sister or brother of tundra region, because it also has some sort of similar characteristics like the tundra region. But in taiga region, it's very cold, fine, but not below freezing point. It's just cold. Okay. Plus, here there is a lot of snowfall. Snowfalls continuous. It's not like the entire region is covered with snow, but snow goes on falling in this particular region. Okay, and in summer they have rainfall. Now, because the snow continuously goes on falling in this particular region, they have coniferous forest. Now, as we all know, coniferous forest means the trees are having the conical shape. Why they have this conical shape? Because when the snow continuously falls, it slopes down, it slides down from these conical leaves. Okay, so definitely that region is having coniferous forest. And when we come to the animal life, just like the tundra region, they also have soft fur on their body to protect them from this intense cold. Plus the vegetation itself, short-lived vegetation, just like the tundra region. So these are one of the main characteristics of the taiga region. As I said, it's just the younger brother or sister of the tundra region. Fine. Now let's come to the next region. Okay, that is the grassland. Now in these, we have the next grasslands, steppes, prairies region. Now in grasslands, what happens is there are extensive ranches of grass in this particular region. Okay, they have warm summers, you can say, warm and humid summers. Okay, and it also rains in summer in this particular region also. So they have extensive grass ranches. That's the main characteristics of this particular region. Now what happens is, because there is extensive grass ranches here, a lot of pastures here, so definitely they become the food for the herbivorous animals, right? So you find herbivorous animals on large numbers in this particular area. Wheat is also grown on large scale in this particular area, but definitely when you have a large number of herbivorous animals in this particular area, what happens is animal rearing becomes one of the important occupation in this particular region. Okay, so that's about the grassland. The next part what we come to is the hot desert. Now here the climate is very extreme. Okay, they have very hot days. The days are very hot, whereas on the other hand the nights are very cold in this region. Okay, and here also the human settlements are also very less due to the extreme climates, and only one animal which the nature has given them as a gift, that's the camel. Okay, their livelihood completely depends upon this particular animal, because camel can go for many days without water, plus their legs are very firm and strong, which can hold on the sand. They can walk on the sand. So it's also called the ship of the desert, right? And their livelihood is also completely relied on this particular animal. Now on the other hand, if you see the vegetation, the plants, okay, there are mostly thorny bushes in this particular region. You don't find trees, plants, and the trees and plants, they don't have leaves on. Why? Because the climate is very extreme. So they don't have leaves, their leaves are converted into thorns so that they don't lose water through evaporation. Normal leaves, they lose water through evaporation if there is a lot of heat in that particular area, right? So here definitely it's very hot, so the leaves are transformed into thorns so that they don't lose water through evaporation. That's one of the features of the hot desert region. As I said, the only animal they rely on is the camel. Then let's come to the next part. We have grasslands, Sudan region. This grassland is different and this grassland is different. There are different characteristics here, okay? In this grassland, you find grass, yes, of course. You find pastures, you find green pastures, you find tall, thick grasses in this particular area. That is the Sudan region, okay? And it is found in the interior of the continents. You don't find on the main area. These grasslands are found in the main areas. Here, these grasslands are found in the interior of the continents. So here, the grasses are very tall, very thick. Because of that, as I said, it becomes the food for the herbivorous animals. So you find herbivorous animals on a very large scale, larger scale than this area. Okay, so because the herbivorous animals are on a very, very large scale, so the carnivorous animal feed on these herbivorous animals, as well as carnivorous animals can hide between the tall, okay, thick grasses also, right? So because of that, you find both herbivorous and carnivorous animals in this particular region. Okay, they are mainly means you can say the main difference in this area is that apart from this area, here you only find mostly the herbivorous animals, you also find the carnivorous animals in this particular region. And one more characteristic, there are the grasses, you find green pastures, but they are very tall, very strong. And here, yes, there are grasses, but they are also tall and thick. Okay, so this one characteristics you find in the hot desert area. Then, not the hot desert area, grasslands. Then we come to the next part, that is equatorial region. I'll write it here, okay? Equatorial regions are found near the equator, not the 5 degree north. Sorry, I'm using the word Celsius. Equatorial region is found from the equator 0 degree till 5 degree, north or south, both the ways. So there you find the equatorial region. Now this place is very, very unpleasant because the climate here is very hot and humid, which attracts various diseases. So people are not comfortable to live in this particular area. So you find very few human settlements in this particular area. Plus this region also, as it's hot and humid, what happens is here rainfall is very heavy. So there are evergreen dense forests in this particular area. Okay. So you find many different variety of animals because it's very dense forests are found here. Okay, it's very dense here. You find because the forest area, you find a wide variety of wildlife in this particular area. Okay, so that is one of the characteristics of the equatorial region. So today I have explained the main characteristics of the Zingrali. Just you have to remember the main characteristics of these regions. Okay, then you'll come to know the difference of the different natural regions on our mother earth. So first one is the Tundra region, Taiga region, grasslands, steppes and prairies, hot desert region, grasslands of Sudan, and the equatorial region. So here we come to the one part of a journey of exploration where we learned about the different natural regions of our Mother Earth. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a nice day and take care.